So CES, aka Consumer Electronics Show 2024, is well underway right now, and really the past few years there hasn't been that much gaming related stuff. We've seen new TVs. I know PlayStation VR 2 kind of showed up on there with some interesting tech demos and stuff, but the big companies are kind of shying away from CES, which gives shine to smaller video game companies. Arcade 1UP is usually there showcasing new systems, but they're just happy re-releasing old properties that they've already re-released 10 times. But I like to see what the smaller companies are doing. The smaller companies, especially within the retro sphere. Well, we have a big announcement. A lot of people are talking about this. A lot of people have been hitting me up, asking me my thoughts and impressions on this, because this is honestly a big deal. A new SEGA handheld looks to be poised to release in 2024. So we're just going to hop straight into this. If this is your first time on the channel, hit that subscribe button because I am the king of SEGA YouTube. This write-up is coming to us from timeextension.com. Damien over there. They're like the same Nintendo Life people. I don't know if they like me or not, but whatever. Hyperkin's portable Genesis/Mega Drive docks like a Nintendo Switch. You can look at this bad boy right here and see, hey, there's some cool stuff going on here. We got a really nice D-pad, the 6-button layout. The design of the system itself is essentially a 6-button Genesis controller with a screen in the middle of it. So, you know, kind of like the Superboy, if you remember that came out, I want to say that came out in 2015-ish, almost 10 years, good lord. But yeah, this is a nice looking system. We have the start and mode buttons. Of course, this is taking cartridges. We got a beat up copy of Comic Zone in there. Would have liked to have seen a little bit crisper label, and that Vector Man's looking sus too. And then we have the dock here. The dock has 2 controller ports that are 9 pins, so any Sega Genesis controller, original Sega Genesis or reproduction controller will work with this. I don't know if there's USB slots on this for USB Sega Genesis controllers. We'll find that out as we sort of read along here, but I definitely love the aesthetic of this system. I think it looks really cool. That screen looks kind of nice. Maybe we'll get a look at the screen, maybe we won't. So this is coming to us from Hyperkin. It's called the Mega 95. It boasts a 5-inch screen that plays original cartridges, but it'll ship with a USB-C dock that connects to your TV set. The dock features 2 standard Genesis controller sockets. So, you know, pretty much just what we covered based on the actual look of this. But, you know, I think that's pretty cool. Scrolling on down here, we have The Verge speculates that the Mega 95 is based on Hyperkin's Mega Retron HD gaming console from 2018, which sells for $60. As for what kind of tech is inside, it is rumored that the Mega Retron HD doesn't use software emulation and instead employs a swarm system, which is closer to FPGA, although it is not believed to be a full FPGA solution, so don't expect the same level of accuracy. So as far as the Mega Retron HD console is concerned, I'm 99% sure that I have a review for it on this channel. And Hyperkin products, as we'll talk about, can be a little bit hit or miss. I remember their Atari system. They did like an Atari 2600. I think it was called like the 77, Hyperkin 77. Like that thing did not work well. But the Mega Retron HD actually did work well. It was one of my favorite Genesis clone consoles to use on an HD television. Obviously doesn't have all of the bells and whistles of something like, you know, the analog handheld or the analog console that they did. The name escapes me right now. I had that as well. Obviously you're gonna get a little bit higher quality, but the Mega Retron HD was definitely a very acceptable, cheaper solution to it. So reportedly, the Mega 95 has 10 hours of battery life on a single charge and comes with a switch that allows you to toggle between 16:9 and 4:3. A rather pointless feature, as no Genesis Mega Drive games ran in 16:9. There's currently no word on a price or release date. I find that kind of interesting, though, to say, because obviously if it's 16:9, they're just going to stretch the image, which some people actually really like stretched images. I am not one of those people. Give me cropped 4:3 all day, unless the game has been enhanced for 16:9 or has a widescreen sort of feature. But people do like to stretch these games out. So I don't think you know, it's crazy to say that, you know, people will sort of use that feature with this. Basically, that's all the information we have right now. If I had to venture to guess a price point, I would say probably $100, maybe $120 with this. But this is Hyperkin, so I do have a few complaints. This is no shade to Hyperkin or anything like that. But we just talked about, you know, quality control stuff with them. Some of their products are enjoyable. I thought the Superboy was a good system. You know, it had a very dated screen. It was like an old LCD screen that it didn't look all that great, but it was time appropriate for when it came out as far as the screen quality was concerned. I never really had any major problems with it. It ran Super FX games as well, so that was pretty cool. The Mega Retron HD actually runs Virtua Racing, which is a Sega SVP chip game. There's a custom built chip in that to allow for the polygons to actually move at a fluid rate. So I would assume that this is probably going to run that as well. The problem with Hyperkin, though, is a problem that plagues a lot of these retro companies. Hyperkin has a tendency to announce stuff and then it never comes out. They were supposed to do a Game Boy Pocket system. I forget the name of it, what their code name was, but it was essentially like a Game Boy Pocket with like a better screen on it and stuff, and it looked really cool, and it never came out. Did their PC Engine stuff ever come out? No. Did their N64 system ever come out? No. Like, and I've heard things off the record about these products that they bring to these events, and literally they're just shells with a board running something that's supposed to be running it. They're not actually indicative of the product itself. And when I look at this, the fact that the screen isn't on in this picture, and I haven't seen any screens or pictures where the screen was on, I wonder if this is actually a working product or if this is just a design that they came up with, because I think the design itself is nice. The idea is good. Like, you know, it's not going to light the world on fire or anything like that, but I would check out one of these. I still have, you know, even though I sold most of my collection, I still have a pretty healthy selection of Genesis games that I grew up playing and loved. Thus, my Genesis collection is superior to your Genesis collection, because this is all killer, no filler. Toy Story, NBA Hang Time, Cool Spot, the wrestling games, Miss Pac-Man, Sonic 3D Blast, Mortal Kombat, Shaq Fu, Street Fighter 2 Champion, Special Champion Edition, Earthworm Jim, Garfield, Sonic Spinball, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, like Sonic 3D Blast. We got bangers here, folks. We got bangers on this list. So if I had a handheld system that I could plug in, you know, play it on the TV if I wanted to, or just enjoy a new handheld, like, I'm definitely interested in checking this out if it's real. I just have I have a little bit of a problem believing that this is an actual product when I look at Hyperkin's history, when I look at all the things that they have announced that have never come to fruition. It's like, bro, don't announce it unless we're in pre-production. Unless I've got units moving on this, we're in the final testing stages or something of this. Like, if this is just an idea, I think it's bullshit that they're doing this again. Because people wanted to check out that N64. People wanted to check out that Game Boy. So I don't know. I'm keeping my expectations in line, but I do hope that it is a real product, because I would love to play this thing. You know, I think it's super cool. It looks super cool, and it would make for a good video on the channel. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you satisfied with your emulation devices? Because, I mean, really, if you have an emulation handheld, like one of the many we've talked about on this channel, you're already playing Sega Genesis stuff. You don't have a big collection. You don't care about that. You care more so about the ROMs. But if you have a Genesis collection, and really, if you're a Sega aficionado, I think this could be a pretty cool product. Hope it's freaking real. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If this is your first time on the channel, like I said at the start, hit that subscribe button, pal. We're on the road to 500K. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.